G'day YouTube, Down the Bricks here, and welcome to this week's video where I'm going to build a Wild West stagecoach. Now, I do have a stagecoach in my western town, and it's this one here. This is a Lego set from the Lone Ranger theme, and I love this set. I think it's a doozy. A lot of people didn't like it. They thought it was a little bit too big, a little bit too out of scale. Scale is a bit of a tricky thing in Lego, but yes, it is too big, but I still think it's awesome. Now, I've built quite a few little wagons for the western town, just sort of to do the job, so to speak, but it wasn't until I built my hearse wagon for my Undertaker build that I actually got some real enjoyment out of just building a wagon, and I thought this one turned out pretty good. And then Lego released this set right here. Now, I'm not a Wizarding World fan at all, but I love this set. And here it is right here, built. And I think it looks fantastic. And building this, I thought maybe I could turn this into a Wild West stagecoach. And then Woolworths Supermarket, our grocery store here in Australia, one of our grocery stores here in Australia, decided to put up some of the Harry Potter sets at 50% off. Now, my local Woolworths, they didn't partake in that sale. I showed the ad to some staff at Big W, and they said they'd be happy to match that deal. So I managed to pick up a couple more of these sets at 50% off, and I think I paid, this was going back a little while, I would have showed it in a haul video, and I can't remember, I think it was 25, might have been 20 bucks, something like that. 25 bucks each, picked up two more of them, and then I thought, you beauty, I've got the parts to try and build a western town stagecoach, or a Wild West stagecoach for the western town. And of course, I don't want it looking too much like this. This sort of reminds me of something you'd see going down the cobbled streets of London, and I of course want something to go down the dusty roads of Tombstone. So I do need to change it up quite a bit, but I think that's about all the intro we need. Let's see what I can come up with. I am absolutely stoked with how this turned out. I did swap out the wagon wheels. I had these reddish brown ones on my hearse wagon, so I swapped them out with the grey, swapped them over, and I just think it looks a little bit better with the reddish brown wheels. As you saw when I started the build, I tried to use the same chassis system. I had the instructions there. I was looking at trying to use the same chassis as the Lego build, but it just turned out with me wanting to go 4 studs longer, it just didn't work out to use that chassis. So it's a completely new chassis. There's really nothing left that is the same from the Harry Potter set or the Fantastic Beasts set, except the assembly here for the wagon wheels, for the axle piece, so to speak, and the hitch here. So this front piece here, that is all the same design. Of course, I just did change it up here to have 2 horses, and again with the back, the axle system design was the same. But that is about it. That is the same from the original build. Of course, like I said, it's just a use of all the parts, and I think what really sets this build off is the use of these custom printed wood tiles. Don't they look fantastic? But speaking of the other set, let's have a quick comparison. So here it is with the Lego set 75951 Grindelwald's Escape, and you can see, other than having a similar footprint with the axle design, it really is quite different. And if we bring in another Stagecoach here, and one of my main things here was to try and have this one lower to the ground, because as a minifig you'd find it a little bit hard getting up into this one, wouldn't you? So the 2 Stagecoaches I have in the Western town now, very different. And then just for kicks, let's just bring in the hearse wagon as well. So we've got some very cool wagons for the Western town, and I just think I'm gonna have to build another one. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate that. Any questions, be sure to ask down in the comments below. Just belt them down there, and I will respond if you have a question that needs answering. Other than that, that's all we got time for today. A big thank you for taking the time to watch, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.